Dumb. Don't forget to include your audio.
Okay, hang on. I'm in the middle of hacking shit right now, so give me a second, bro.
Word. I feel that. Alright. Today we're gonna talk about offensiveness generation gap. What offends people and what doesn't and what shouldn't.
Oh, the whole cry room thing, I can't get over, you guys. I'm
Don't do it
sorry.
yet. You're not audio is not included yet.
Hang on.
Didn't mean to be mean. I know. You're gonna say
No, it
something
says,
epic.
no, it does. It says my audio, include my audio.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Crackpot.
Gavin, come join us.
Chicken
So,
shit.
Dom, how do
Oh.
you feel about people being offended by literally everything?
Okay, fucking grow a pair.
I know that.
You didn't ask me for my opinion. I'm saying this outright. Grow a
Yeah, I
pair.
know. Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. People are like, I'm offended. I'm like, okay, well, don't get your titties in a twist. We got some more dumb shit. Like, do you ever find it weird, Dom, when someone what was that one thing people were getting? Um, there's so much stuff on this. There's like a lot. You know what? Here's the thing. You smoke cigarettes, right?
Hmm.
And I vape. You don't care about the vaping. How do you feel about people telling people they should stop smoking cigarettes because they're hurting the environment?
Well, it's no different
But wait,
than everybody saying that cars are hurting the environment. Unfortunately, tobacco's been around since the dawn of time.
yeah,
So, yeah, you're asking someone that, basically wants to tell people you go fuck yourself and leave me the fuck alone.
yeah.
Mind
But I
you,
was gonna,
according to the rules, mind your business.
for sure. But I was gonna say as well, like, how do you feel about people like? So I'm a young guy, right? And I remember I was talking to this person. They were telling me like, hey, like, cause they didn't know nothing about vaping, right?
Hmm.
And they were like, "Hey, how's it feel to vape?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, is it nicotine? Is it no nicotine? Is it CBD straight? Is it THC and CBD? Like, what do you mean?" They're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Well, there's lots of different things that I vape. Like, there's lots of different ways." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's not just nicotine. Like, there's weed, or there's just CBD without the weed, or there's no nicotine, just the flavor." Still all bad for you, whatever they wanna. It's whatever. I mean, but it amazes me that people will come up and talk to me or you about cigarettes and be like, "Those are bad." Be like, "Well, do you know like what I'm like? Would you rather me sit there and do crack? Like, I don't know. Like, this is what I like. This is what I enjoy to do. Like, this is one of my habits."
Why? Well, here's the thing. I always tell people this, all right? Everybody's entitled to have vices. Some people will say this is bad, that's bad. Some people, okay, here we go. We'll go for a list of vices here. There are some people that have,
Mhm.
let's say, you know, biting their fingernails. All right?
Yeah, I do
That
that.
to me is the most disgusting thing known to man. Okay?
All
Nasty,
right.
right? But am I going to
Yeah.
tell that person, oh, you got to stop biting your nails because, no, I get it. People have nervous reactions to stuff. People are nervous. It's not my place to
Yeah, I've
tell
noticed
people
that.
that, oh, you can't do
Yeah.
this or oh, you can't do that. No, it ain't none of my fucking business. Period. I don't care what anybody tells me. Oh, you're perpetuating. Oh, look, shut the hell up. You aren't
Yeah.
me. I don't know who in the fuck you are. But I'll tell you what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna tell me how to tell my peoples. how they should be living.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
at the end of the day, we all got fucked up shit that we do.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
so why would anybody else want to tell another person how to live their life? It's like telling a fat
For
man
sure.
you shouldn't want to. It's like telling a fat person, "Oh, you should lose weight." Well, you know what? That's just gonna emotionally drive me to eat fucking everything I possibly can.
No, you know what I always found weird about that people? Cause I have a lot of decent fat friends, and I'm like, hey, I don't care, but I would tell them like, hey, like, if you want to get healthy, just hit me up. Cause I didn't go to high school. I mean, I didn't go to college or any of that for these schools for the benefits of health and all that. But I learned along the way from like people who actually like have degrees in it, people who actually like were living that lifestyle of just bodybuilding. I've learned from them about like the nutrients and the supplements and all that stuff. And they're like, just don't take. Gavin, fuck you. I hear my voice. Who is that? Why do I hear my voice?
I can kind of hear it.
Test,
Yeah, I
test,
can hear it too.
test the please.
But yeah, right. So I have a lot of decent fat friends, right? But I'm like, hey, like you're the coolest person I know. They're like, well, I'm fat, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, you like food, I like food. It's just the way we are.
Yeah.
But I've seen people, right, fat shame people, and I'm like, what's your problem? They're like, well, you know, it's just disgusting. I'm like, no, you just can't see yourself in it because you're scared.
Hmm.
And it's just wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
But no offense taken to it. I'm just like, nah, like that. You're just a dick.
What I miss.
Not really.
Hmm.
This
But
conversation
yeah.
about
Dom's having Minecraft. Xbox.
not me,
Oh, who was it?
Gavin,
Oh, yeah.
Gavin.
Oh, I can pick up a hooker inside this car.
Uh-huh. 2 minutes.
I don't have the funds.
Already done. My audio is included, by the way.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. I'm here.
So, another offensive topic. How do you guys feel about men talking shit about women in music now?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the same way.
I was about to say the same thing. It's vice versa. It's been going on for a long time, but it's a big turn off for some people. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to bring up, Kevin?
No, actually, I got nothing online at the moment because I'm half asleep or half awake at the moment. So yeah, no, I'm good.
You know what? I just thought of something, Dominic. You know that we both kind of dislike when women do this.
What?
The female streamers. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, they're actually pretty cool.
They're cool when they game, not when they twerk and show their tits on stream.
Yeah. Alright then, that is the end of me being on stream or on podcast.
No, Gavin, don't do it.
All right, I'll remember that.
Me and Dom tomorrow night. Where is he at? Alright. Everyone, think about it again.
Party on, Gavin. Take it easy.
Keep it safe, man. Wrap it tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite, right?
Yeah. Wrap your blankets tight on your bed. Alright, man. Catch you later.
Take it easy.
So, Dom, how do you feel about the stream, the female stream, like what do you call them? Like, what are they, like, I don't know. They don't really. I mean, they play video games, right? But like, more of just showing the goods, not really
Oh, are you
playing.
talking about the hookers? The hookers that are on here just
Yeah,
for money?
yeah, that.
Well, I told somebody once this. I mean, if they can really play video games, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
But
but when they can't,
and
then
they're
it's
just
like,
there for views, and they just kind of want, they're there to make money because they want people to look at their, because they're young and they've got nothing really to offer anybody. Ooh,
yeah,
that's pretty horrible for me to say out loud.
that wasn't me. I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, that sounds just like me. Oh, that's something I would say.
Well, here's the thing. It's one thing to be pretty. It's one thing to actually having some kind of fat between your ears that actually kind of having a conversation with them wouldn't be that bad. But it's a whole nother thing when basically they are just hookers, video hookers.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that because it was but it was weird. Remember I was talking to you and I was asking Facebook some stuff and I was like, hey, like if I was to put a video camera up, right, and play, and I just show me in like a thong or whatever, I just show my erection while playing, like will I get banned? They're like, yeah, and I'm like, why? Like nothing sexual. I mean, it's nothing showing. And and I knew why. They're like, oh, you're not gonna make us as much money as her, and we goes against our guidelines. I'm like, so is what she does. Like,
But then again, it's a double standard. You know where I'm going at with that, right?
yeah,
It's not right that there's a double standard.
it isn't.
And, if you do it, it's
If I
offensive.
do it, then I get called a pervert, rapist. I get banned, this and that. But if she does it, they're like, let me send you some money, like today. You need money? I got you.
But that's the point. What is good for the goose is not good for the gander. So, on one instance, we have someone that's not, there's no equality, there's inequality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's bullshit, just in case if you're wondering.
Oh yeah, for sure. So another offense is, how do you feel about hairstyles? That's a big thing right now too.
What do you mean?
So like, remember how I was telling you about how I have braids when I have my hair long before I cut it?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like, oh, white people can't have cornrows, or Asians can't have like this type of hairstyle, or Mexicans can't have there's like a bunch of stuff. The main thing that's going on is white women and black women
Oh,
having straight hair and braided hair.
you're talking about cultural appropriation of hair.
Yeah, like
Oh,
hairstyles.
okay, yeah, it's fucking hair. Get over yourself.
Man, I didn't get it. Like a lot of people right now a lot of people are offended for some reason over it. I don't really get it. I don't understand it. Not one bit.
Oh, I get it. I get it 100%. You know what it is? It's all of this racial stuff going on where they think that, oppression and blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm going to punch somebody in the forehead now. Sorry.
Yeah, I know that part, but other than that, I'm like, what's the point? Like,
Well, you have to look at it from this perspective, and this is what I'm going to say to you. And I really don't care if somebody else, like I said, I really don't care if somebody says I'm racist, because I'll just say you're full of shit. And
yeah, I know you're not racist. I mean, we've talked. Not once have you ever been racist. I mean, we've done some jokes. I mean, so does everyone.
yeah, but the point about it is this, okay, you guys all gonna have to stop your shit right now. Hang on.
Where's it? Oh, hang on. I got you.
Wait! You better lay down. You better lay down, mister. They're, roughhousing on the sofa. You have to understand, he's 80 pounds of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll trade you. You want a dog? For sale, one dog. One used dog.
One used dog for 5 baby cats. Coming soon.
I love baby kitties. I keep cats.
Is he house trained? They house trained?
Oh yeah, he is house trained. They're both house trained.
Alright, word. I'll take him for a week. I'll be like, give me my cat back now.
Nah, my dogs are good dogs. They're just, they get rambunctious and happy and they want to play and...
I'll do all that. I remember when I used to have dogs. I would pick. My dog was like, I think he was a German Shepherd, which mixed with Rhodesian something.
Rhodesian
the dog they
Ridgeback.
used to fight off. Yeah, with that. And he was police trained, he was canine trained, and he was a big motherfucker. He was big and all that. And I just pick him up. He was so big. I'd pick him up though, and I'd take him in bed with me and be like, we're going to bed. And he would just lay there and roll up. But he was weird. Like he would roll like a burrito, and he would steal the covers. And it would be like, you dick. But he was a cool dog. He was. He's still alive. I don't have him no more though. It's all good in the hood.
Oh, he is trying to hump her. That shit's funny.
He's like, Mom, let me get to work. Did I just hear him knock over a ball?
Yeah, it's a dog food bowl they've already eaten. Anybody want a dog?
Anybody want 5 baby cats on the way?
You sure it's got, you think it's gonna be 5 baby kitties?
Possibly. Her last litter was 5.
Oh. Joy.
She's a small baby cat though.
I like kitty cats. I like dogs too.
Yeah. I think the weirdest thing I've ever let crawl on my arm was a tarantula. Like freaked me out, kinda.
He is trying to hump her.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have that sweet stuff. My dog won't try and hump you. Get your ass over there and lay down. You started it and you can't finish it, so shut the fuck up.
Another offensive song. What's a new offensive thing? What's an old one?
What do you mean?
Other than talking back, like, what's an offensive thing?
To what?
Like a new thing people are talking about for, like, I know there's offensiveness for like, you can't tell me what to say, can't tell me what to wear. That's been going on for a long time.
You can't, you can't tell me how I'm supposed to look. You can't tell me what I'm supposed to be like. Behavioral issues, verbal issues, mental issues. I'm not crazy, I'm just disabled. What the fuck is that shit about? I'm not crazy, I'm just disabled. You're mentally ill.
What?
Get it right.
What? Yeah, I was like, huh? What the fuck does that mean?
I've heard I mean, there's all kinds of shit that people try and, post out there that, Okay, equality is one thing. Stupidity is another. I'm just saying. Equality is one thing, stupidity is another. Remember that.
Yeah.
Learn it, live it, love it. It's my mantra. No, I'm just joking. No, I mean, okay. So you're saying like what's offensive to me as a generation Xer?
Yeah.
Well, I've already said it to you 100 times. The self-righteous, self-entitlement gig that people have now.
Oh yeah.
It's all about me. Forget about you. What about me?
Yeah.
You know what I like to tell people? It's not always about you. I love the everybody's oppressed. Oh, I'm so oppressed. Oh. I want to.
I forgot the meaning of that word once I first started. I'm like, this isn't what it really. I mean, everybody was using it, so I was like, you know what? I'm just forget about this word.
Oppression. Oppression is something where someone feels as if or when someone is physically, mentally, verbally, or by law, or medically, suppressing your rights, your basic rights.
Yeah.
That's what oppression is. So, for instance, the Native Americans was a genocide. Let's call a spade a spade. Slavery, and I'm not just talking about our African American friends. We've got to look at the Asians, the Latins, the Irish. We got to look at all forms of slavery. Italians, all slavery. Not one ethnic population is greater than the other when it comes to slavery. Because if we're going to do that, the Chinese were shipped in here early 1800s to start working on the railroads from the Pacific Northwest on down into North America. But nobody talks about that because that's Asian slavery, all the Asian stuff that's transpired in the last 300 years. No one talks anything about that. Think about it. What's the one voice in the world that's never heard? It's always, but we're everywhere. Asians. That is fact.
There's another one.
Latin Americans, the Mexicans and South Americans and the Central Americans. So it's interesting because if you want to get down to it, the French and the Germans were once slaves to the Romans.
Yeah.
And to the Hebrew or the Jews. Nobody talks about that at all. Period. Because we all know that the Jews were slaves to the Egyptians.
Yeah, I remember
But once
a lot of things people forget about.
History speaks for itself. The Romanians, Slovakians, Hungarians, Polish, they were all slaves to the Greeks. Shall I keep going?
We don't hear a lot about Polish people no more either.
We do. I got some friends that are Polish, so he calls himself a Polak. I'm like, shh, you don't talk about Polish people. That's not right. But
So yeah, I got one friend, but I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of them. No, none of them.
One of my ex-boyfriend's fifth or sixth remove, one of those two, he was from Slovakia. It was Czechoslovakia at one point in time, and then now it's the Czech Republic and it's Slovakia. He was from Slovakia. He spoke Slovenia, which is the language, Slovenian, which is the language, and his grandmother, Ika, was still alive, and she was ancient. I mean, this woman had to be freaking. She was born in the late 1800s. Think about that, and she was still alive. And his uncle, who owned the vineyard in Napa, I'll have a story about that later sometime. He would always give us like all these pastries and wine, and he would always like, come up, have family dinner. So we'd come up, have family dinner with him. They'd serve all of this Slovakian food. Now, mind you, I've never had Slovakian food, but boy, gonna call a spade, that was good shit.
You're like, shit, I'm coming back for seconds.
Well, okay, so I've eaten a lot of like Russian food too. Good God. There's a dish, it's Hungarian, it's goulash, which is basically a pasta meat sauce, and it's cooked in a pot together. Oh my God. Holy cow. And they usually serve it with sour cream. They usually serve it with sour cream, but I'm not a big, just leave it plain. I don't want the cheese or the sour cream in it. I'm good. Just give it to me like that. But man, the food. Oh, you know what? Another thing here. We can talk about something that nobody ever talks about. Is the Amish.
The Amish? Yeah, I know what. You know what? Oh, those guys are like off the radar. Like no one ever talks about.
And
them.
the cool thing
I've
about.
heard nothing about.
And the really cool thing about the Amish are, they are genuinely nice people.
They
Genuinely. You don't. As long as you're not spouting hate and being mean to them or doing anything that seems a little weird, they're pretty much all cool people. They treat everybody like good people.
Yeah.
They do.
I remember, not real life. I remember I was watching TV one time, and there was this guy, right?
Yeah.
Amish people. They routed to us like a town, right? It's like a real town. It's not like an Amish town. This guy though, he's riding with him, right? He's not Amish at all. But these kids, right? They're like in middle school, maybe junior, maybe high school, and they're making fun of the Amish guys, right? They're picking on them. They're flipping their hats out. They're putting their ice cream. Like they got cones of ice cream. And they're putting their ice cream on the Amish guy's face, right?
Yeah.
And the guy steps off the thing. He's like, no, don't do this. Just let it happen. He's like, fuck that. You gonna learn today. And he comes up to the kid and he's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And the kid does it to him, right? And he takes his fist and he punches the kid in the nose, and then the kid's just bleeding, sitting there bleeding, like blood everywhere, all over his nose and everything, just dripping. He's like, I ain't Amish. You ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
And all the kids' friends are sitting there like, oh my gosh. It's like, dude, you know what the kid was doing wrong? Why try to stand up?
Again, and here we go. Let us just go into the whole more of the generation gap. Right from wrong.
Yeah.
Think about that. Right from wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's an old value that by being raised the way I was raised, that we treat everybody with the same respect and kindness that you wish to have bestowed upon yourself.
Yeah.
But some people don't see that. They don't see that, and they don't care. Because once again, self-righteous, self-entitlement. But for all the faults that are in the generations behind me, or behind me, you know, I love it when they say, okay, boomer, and I'm just looking at them like, you don't know nothing then. You haven't been paying attention to the generations, have you? Boomers are your Boomers are your grandparents and your great-grandparents. Not me. Somebody said that to me, okay, boomer, and I just laughed at him. I said, and here's our beautiful education system at work, and it just set them on fire. Think about it. When
I
that,
can see them. They're like, "What'd you just say?"
think about it. Fire. What? Yeah. Learn it, live it, love it. Because
You
guess,
know,
I'm not a fool.
I know that. You know what amazes me though? People are like, "Oh, this country's going down the tubes because of this, because of these people, because of this generation." I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. This stuff's been happening for like since day one. Like, there's nothing we can do to stop it.
Well, I'll tell
We
you
can
the
help it.
I'll tell you the things that need to happen in order for us to salvage what America really is. Everybody needs to wake up to the fact that they're living in the land, in the only land in the world that we can actually talk smack.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was confused. I remember
We can criticize
there
our
was
elected leaders.
yeah.
We can criticize everything in our country to the wire. But when it comes down to it, and I've actually said this to somebody, because you know my old man was ex-military. When you start criticizing the military, you start criticizing our soldiers that go out there and fight.
Yeah.
You can just shut your pie hole. Just don't step to me. Don't talk to me. No, no. Do I think war is the answer? And I actually was going to bring this up to a point to you. If we
Who,
did,
me?
yeah. Do you
The
think
war?
war? What do you think about war in general? Not just the war.
Honestly, the only thing I think I hate about anything about war is that the old guys will sit there and talk shit to each other, and it's like, hey, you young guys, yeah, go duke it out. We're like, nah, fuck that. You guys, you two, you go shoot each other. Like, but I mean, then again, we have to protect our people.
Well, okay. Here we go into this concept of protection. How about the fact that we're spreading sovereign rights and democracy, and that lo and behold, we're trying to make people stand on their own. Now, mind you,
Oh no, I don't agree with that at
underline.
all. No,
You don't
I'm
agree with
fine.
you don't agree with us spreading democracy
No,
and
I
letting
agree
people
with
have
that, but
voice.
like not like forcing it on people. Like
No, no,
certain
no.
people.
Well, here we go. How about we'll go into the Vietnam conflict because it wasn't a war; it was a conflict. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a set of people in South Vietnam that did not want to become communist, and that's what happened with Vietnam. Was we were fighting the communists, and they turned out to be doing guerrilla warfare on us, which we had no lay of the land. We didn't know crap about it. That kind of stuff now ain't gonna it wouldn't fly. That's why I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound pretty shitty, is that's the reason why we dropped so many bombs in Iraq and Afghanistan. They tried
Yeah,
to
I think I
use
said something wrong there though.
why
I think I got the wrong of your question. Like I agree with everything, but I don't agree with like forcing.
I don't
I'm like, you
either.
know what?
Here's the
Certain
thing:
countries they're gonna gonna be
if they
fucked
wanna
up.
live in, if look, okay, okay, so we got what is it? What is the place? We got Afghanistan, which is where all the world's, which is most of the world's heroin comes from. Where? Afghanistan.
I believe Afghanistan. Yeah, and then the
Okay.
cocaine is a little. I think there's two places that have
Bolivia,
cocaine.
Colombia, Peru,
Yeah.
Chile, parts of parts of Brazil, Venezuela. So far, Paraguay, Uruguay are safe, and Argentina doesn't fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
Argentina's beautiful, by the way. If you ever get the chance, go. You'll love it.
Maybe. Possibly.
Old world beauty. And the women still take care of themselves down there. That means that after they have 5,000 kids, they don't blow up like most Latinas do. Ooh, is that wrong for me to say out loud?
Ooh, everything under a 5'10" just stops.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, here you go. Everybody has this like gross, archaic idea about what women should look like, and they forget that once you have kids, forget about it.
It's gone.
Yep.
Now you know what I'll tell you about that? There's a new thing going on. And I'm a young guy. I don't mind dating women with kids, you know? But like I was watching this thing on YouTube, right? It was a random guy. And this woman was mad, right? She was like, "Why are you telling young men not to date single mothers?" And he was like, "I'm not saying it to be a dick, but like let's say there's a guy, right? Like you have a son, and he graduated from college, right?
Uh-huh.
He has a job, he has a car, he has a home, and he's messing with 3 girls, right?
Yeah.
One girl has 3 kids, 2 different baby daddies. Another girl she has a job, she has all that degree and stuff. She has a home too, she has a car, and she's above. And then there's another girl who's kind of like she's in the middle. She has a job, but she's not good with money, but she's a good loving person, right?
Yeah.
He said to that woman, he's like, who would you want your son to see? The single mom with 3 kids and 2 different baby daddies, the girl who has it all together, or the girl who's there but in the middle? And she was like, well, I'd like him to see the woman who has it together, but he was like, now why is that? And she was like, well, the girl with kids will bring stress and this and etc. And he's like, but you see what you just made your decision of? And she was like, what do you mean? He's like, you basically just answered your own question, like. But
What?
I've only dated, huh?
What happened with you now?
What do you mean?
No, I was just trying to figure out what you were saying. Like you stopped in mid-sentence. I'm like, what?
And I was saying, well, me, I've only dated 2 girls that have had kids before.
Mm-hmm.
I dated that one girl, she was 30, 33. She was a nice chick, a little crazy. And I remember when I was in high school, I was dating a chick who had a kid. She was alright. She was pretty cool. But she did things wrong, but I was like... And now that I date chicks more, I'm like, I don't think I want to date... I mean, I don't mind dating a girl who has kids, but it is more stressful. It is more hard. It's a lot hard. But it makes you think, like... Because every woman that I run into now, kind of like, they're pregnant or they have kids, and I'm like... So why did you meet a deadbeat guy who's gonna like, other than them dying, like you know like how back in the day when like people like if you were a single mom, usually the husband died, and now it's like, oh, you're pregnant, and they leave, and it's like, bam, you're by yourself. I'm like, I don't know, it's just, I guess it's just harder to date.
Well, it's harder to date now.
Expensive.
It's harder to date now, particularly for young men or gentlemen, because the fact is, like 90% of the women have already bred like rabbits.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about this, okay? They've been breeding like rabbits, so yeah, that you don't necessarily want to have. You want someone that's like I'm going to say this, unspoiled by childbirth. You want to have that experience with another person.
I don't care about that. Like my dad taught me, I was helping her raise, remember I was talking about the women with kids? But I didn't care, like they were my kids. I was like, the only thing that I know it hurts was sucking, dating women who have kids that aren't yours. They're like, these are my kids. I'm like, why are we both paying for food and clothes and this and that? Like, because it does hurt a guy. It does. You're like, I treat him as my kids, like, and when you get in an argument, you're like, these are my kids. I'm like, no, like, these are ours, like, I'm providing, you're providing, what's the problem? But I'll never understand, like, because I've talked to them, they're like, oh, we're better than you. I'm like, you're better than me because you gave birth? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so you're better than me because you gave birth, but the husband or guy that you got pregnant from is not around, so it's my fault. It's in my position to provide for you, to be a loving boyfriend.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like,
Well, the question of it is that since when? Here's something you should think about. Why is it your responsibility?
no what? Oh, I heard career.
Why is it your responsibility to take care of somebody else's mistakes?
You know, I really can't answer that. I don't I mean, other than I say like it's not my responsibility. I mean, I didn't make it. I didn't make that decision.
Yeah, you did not make that decision, therefore it is not your responsibility to take care of it. God, and I know that sounds horrible for me to say out loud, but you know what? That's the truth.
But it is the truth. Like, it's plain and simple on paper. It's like, I will tell you one thing though. I do like about single moms. You know, when you take them out for a date and like you treat them good for like the first couple of dates, you know you're getting something. Like a single girl, you're like 5, 8 months. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, but again, too much work, very little delivery.
Yeah.
People always think I'm heartless. Well, there you go, truth.
But yeah, that's how I am. That's why when I was talking, like, yeah, I am a dick sometimes. Like, I don't care.
It's funny. That's just funny.
Yeah. But another topic too. I have no idea where I went with that topic though. I kind of lost it. I was like, what am I talking about? A new offense. How do you feel about people with social media? There's a whole new offensive thing on social media with pictures and all that, like the filters, all that type of stuff.
False advertising.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think it's bullshit. Just in case if you're wondering.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like.
No, I had to
like
stop
your whole
and
speech.
killing people. I'm in the middle of killing a bunch of bad guys and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
No, I mean, here you go. Social media is just that. It's supposed to be for, meet up with friends, family, somebody you like, you make friends, things like that. That's the social media stuff. This whole new thing of making it for basically whoring yourself, I got issues with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there is a line, and a line that should not be crossed. And most women that are sucked into the idea of what social media is supposed to be about, they are losing touch with reality and who they are as a person. Think about it for a minute.
True.
They're losing thoughts, that they're losing themselves. So
I'll give you an example. I remember I was on. I tell you about Facebook. I'm on there a couple times. I post memes and stuff, but there's always these weird women, right? Remember I was telling you about the lip syncing woman? She was like, men don't like. So like, how do women look when they sell themselves online on OnlyFans and all that? She was like, what? And I'm like, well, you're saying men can't make videos and stuff. Like, how do you feel when women make videos about selling themselves and like? It's basically like what do you call it, like a preview? Like a like, oh, here's some pictures, like here's a preview, like come to this link and spend money. I was like, how do you feel about that? She was all mad and she was like, you have no right. And I was like, what do you mean I have no right? Like you're sitting here talking about how men are terrible people and some women are terrible people, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
basically, it's a lot of differentiating opinions, and people think that their right is their right. Their right is right. And you're wrong.
Yeah.
I've noticed that people will argue with you and troll you just for the sake of, not because of any other reason. Think about it. They'll
Oh
do
yeah,
it
just like that
with,
kid with the with our friend. Just like him with our friend.
just because. We live in
It's
a
cold over here.
we live in a very bizarre.
We do.
We really do. It's where a bunch of people, you know, social media has ruined humans. We're kind of screwed on that.
Yeah.
We don't get everything the way everything's not the same as it used to be. And we're kind of like stuck with it. All of it. We're stuck with trial. So yeah, my guy about social media, it's fun for a while, and then you get tired of it.
True.
And at the end of the day, we are left with what's remained. Or we're left with what's remained, and you know, people don't see it like that. They don't. And that's too bad too. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
We're going to end up in a world of people that think they know everything. I don't want to be in, you know, I told somebody, I said, I don't want to live in a world where everybody always thinks they're right.
Oh, for sure.
No one is right.
Yeah.
I just forgot how difficult this game is.
I know. I can hear you. Like you're sitting there actually like pressing buttons, and I can hear you doing it. I'm like, she's actually like she's going full try hard mode right now. So Dom, what do you think that new kids need to improve on, like new generations, about other than like manning up or putting some air in their chest? I mean, we both know it. Like, I mean, that's how we were raised. Even though you're like a whole different, lots of generations behind me.
Are you asking me what I think? What do you think about the kids and the generations behind us should be doing more of?
Yeah, about like the offensiveness and the snowflaking and stuff. Like,
I want to
crap.
say this much. I'd love to say grow a spine. I would love to say, would love to remind them that they are not any better than anybody else. That they are all, every generation comes into that, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with myself.
Yeah.
Gotta get my machine gun out. Hang on.
All right. there any questions for me, Don?
What would you do if there was one thing you could impart on the older generation for us to think about you? What would that be?
To think about like us?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the young, dumb, and full of cum?
Yeah, but that's beyond the point. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
you hear a lot of the elder generation saying, "I've been there before. I know, been there, done that, got the T-shirt." I mean, pretty much what kind of a true story. So it's like, every generation grows, and when your generation comes to fruition and realizes what we were saying to you, then you're gonna run into the, well, you know. What do we do to fix it? What can we do to fix it? Where is the fix it?
Where's the button to press where it's like, hey, fix it, got it, can get done?
It's a good question. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, it is a good question. There's one thing to leave for us.
And that is,
I would want to say to like, well, I mean, you kind of have already done it. From my perspective, you guys have already done it.
the only thing I don't think has been imprinted upon you guys as the younger generation is that we all go through the growing pains of getting older. No one generation had it right, nor were they perfect.
Yeah.
And if they were, I'm calling bullshit. Straight up.
See, I think the one thing that you guys already left was I think care. Maybe too much care though. 'Cause I see certain people's parents and I'm like, your parent, like they don't care too much. They care like over, like, you know what I mean, like. Like you can see it with like parents now compared to like back then. My dad's parents, like just like caring for the child, like having talks and stuff. Like there's a lot more of that now. But I mean, there could have been a lot more back then. But like from I only have my dad and my grandma, and my cousins and stuff to tell me about this. But like a lot back then, it wasn't really like a lot. They just love. But you know, like that care, like that physical care, like, hey, like, you need to talk, like, hugs. Like, there wasn't a lot of that back then. From like, cause I'm a boy, and I could tell you, like, how many times a year do you think my dad tells me he loves me?
Not very often.
He tells me he tells me on Christmas, New Year's, my birthday, and he usually tells me it as well. Like I want to say around 4th of July sometimes, yeah, around there.
Around 4th of July. That's it.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's about it. So the four times a year that he tells me. Sometimes I do get more, but that's usually when like I'm going through something like I'm very rarely going through anything really hard in life since I've grown up. I'm my own person. Like when I was a kid, it was more terrible. Like let's see. That's pretty dark. That's dark. Like remember I told you when I was a kid, my mom did all that stuff.
Yeah.
The last podcast we just did. So I remember I tried to hang myself, right? And it's alright, I don't care. Because it's my life, it's YouTube, I don't care. And the only thing, I only had 2 people tell me good stuff. I had my dad, and I had my brother, my little brother. that demon. And it was funny because my mom literally like did nothing. Like I hung myself at my mom's house. Like I was in a cabinet. It had like a thing on it. I was like, I want to say I was like 3 feet tall. I don't know. It was a point where it was working. I was turning purple. And a brother caught me and he pulled me down. He was like, hey man, what the fuck? And like have you ever had that moment where you stare into someone's eyes and you're like, why do you care? Like, and you find out like you really care. Like you're not just saying it because like we're family. Like you really mean it.
Well, yeah, that's what you got siblings for.
No, that was my dad. Like my brother was just like, what's wrong with you? Like, I love you, man. Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't like being here. And it's weird because I've only had one man, my dad, like look me in the eyes before and cry in front of me. And I'm like, this is a real moment. Like, this is fucking dope. Like, I don't know. It was just like, you know, like true passion. I know you know true passion. You've been there. Like you have that moment where like everything is like completely fine. It was like one of those.
Yeah.
But I've noticed like when I tried to off myself compared to today when people do it, a lot of people get like what's the word? Like it's not overcare, but it's like I want to say like overstimulated. Would that be like the right word?
Possibly.
From like people.
Don't know if it's overstimulated per se. I think it may be. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's a hard word. I'm trying to look for it too. I'm like, I don't know this word. Like,
huh? What do you describe it? What do you describe the word you're trying to figure out?
so like compared to back then, and compared to today, like when you like, there's a lot more things that can prevent like overcaring and stuff like that.
Well, it's you over coddle somebody and then what? You've got if you over coddle, over care for somebody, then you've got and this is gonna sound fucked up. That you got someone sissy puss, doesn't know what they're doing. Needs someone to
Say it.
Need someone to fucking needs someone to
hand.
hold your hand to take a piss.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, to hold your hand.
Hold your hand. You need to have someone hold your hand while you take a pee. All of that shit.
Yeah. I think sometimes there's just too much care in the world for like certain things. It's not a bad thing, but like that's how we get like snowflakes and stuff like how stuff is majorly gone to like, hey, like that's not funny. It's like, hey, that's offensive, like, and this and that. It's like, dude, like they raised you to be a wuss, man. Like, what happened?
Well, how did they raise him to be a wuss?
So like, you know how like you tell your kid like the world is perfect and all that, and you don't show them anything, like nothing of the bad side, none of it.
Yeah.
And every single day it's all rainbows and stuff, and then they get that one bad day and they're like, what the fuck, like you didn't tell me. And then like they blame it on the whole world, and like, I'm gonna start making petitions on how to like make a law for this and make this, and we're gonna make that offensive, and we're gonna make this, like, you know what I'm saying?
It just sounds to me like it's just a bunch of people that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, kind of like that. Exactly.
It's they're left clueless.
Yeah.
The generations behind us are clueless as to what, we would have thought that they would have learned something, and our education system is fucking crap. I mean,
Oh, it's for sure it's crap.
And the shit that
job.
we're trying to teach, the shit that kids are trying to teach, I'm like, wait a minute. No, 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 no. This is not right. No, no.
Like you want to know something I learned about when I was dating that woman with kids? So they're at daycare, right?
Yeah.
And you remember when the Trump and the Hillary thing was going on for voting or whatever? Was it Trump? I don't know. It was Trump or something. And they were in daycare, right? And they had a political vote in the class.
Yeah, I think you
And the
told me
woman
about
told,
that.
yeah, I told, yeah. And the woman told me, your kid's voting for Trump. And I was like, okay, so what? They don't even know anything about that. Like,
They're kids.
yeah, like they're kids. And in my head, I'm like, why are they learning about this shit? Like, I was like, be a kid, play in the dirt, shit your pants. I don't know. Like, play with blocks. And it seems to me like we're teaching the kids from what I've seen and experienced now with my little ones and stuff, like my kid was my nephew, I forget who it was, they were going to school, right? And also they were teaching them about gays and lesbians and transgenderism and all that stuff in class, and I'm like, why are they learning about this? They're like, what do you mean? Like, they're in the 1st grade, why are they learning about this? And the teacher just sitting there ridiculing my ass, right? But I'm like, aren't they supposed to be learning about numbers and shapes and how to write and color and hand-eye coordination and stuff? Like, I don't know, like. And it seems to me like we're getting farther and farther away from like actually learning about history, learning about language arts and all that stuff. Like,
What it boils.
I don't understand.
Okay, what I can see
You go.
and what I know is this. They're exposing children to things that is, in my opinion, and mind you, I am entitled to this opinion.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
It is damaging their growth pattern so they can form their own opinions about their existence. And think about that for me, because that's the truth. Sexualizing children at a young age is not a good thing. Period. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. It's like these kids are being overtly sexualized at a young age. And our education system's getting away with it.
They are. You know what is sad about the education system? And you remember I talked about George Carlin, right?
Mm-hmm. Love you, George Carlin.
You remember when this pandemic happened? And I was in high school, right? For my last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was like a pandemic, right? Whatever. When it first started, it was big, huge, still is, but like, so there was these kids in my class, right? And they would not do their homework, but we would all do it. So everyone basically in like my class for the last like senior year, I forget when I graduated, I don't remember. But it was the first year it happened, right? First school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
For Corona.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't fail anybody at my school.
Yeah.
Because they said, like, oh, they can sue us. You know, there's a pandemic. And in my head, I'm like, look, I have people in my class that aren't even doing the work, and they have a fucking C, and they're like, yeah, because, and I'm like, but they wouldn't tell us, but we were like, we knew the kids, right? And all of us, they'd be like, oh, we didn't have time to write this essay or this like big portfolio and all this, and we're like, so we're sitting here doing the work, getting A's and B's and all that, and then we had dipshits who won't do any of the homework, but you're gonna give them an A or a B or C or at least a D, so the school doesn't get sued. And they're like, well, it's not that simple. And we're like, yeah, it is. Don't do the work and still graduate. Like, how the fuck do you make that shit up? Like,
You know how that is? Or you
Huh.
want to know why that is?
why?
It's because we have let them get away with it for too long.
Oh yeah, there's that. But I don't know, it was just like, to me it felt very dumb-wise. I'm like, so we're gonna let all these people graduate when they shouldn't graduate? They need to learn their lesson and do their homework? And I was like, what's the point of us, like, actually doing our work then and, like... And I was like, you know what? We're smarter, they're dumber, but I was like, other than that, I'm like, what do they get out of it? Like, well, like, more free time to, like, go jerk off and play sports or whatever? I don't know.
Again, what do they get?
Don't know.
The reality of it is that when it comes down to it, they won't have a pot to piss in. They're not gonna have a pot to piss in. They're gonna be the dumbest thing since sliced bread.
Sliced bread.
There are some people that are dumb,
Yeah, there is some people.
and that's okay too.
That is okay. I mean, I've had, I don't know what you call it, like, I mean, yeah, there's some people who are like, you can tell, like, they're dumb, but, like, they're still cool people. It doesn't matter, like, they're still a friendly person.
They still trying.
Yeah, at least they're trying, you know, like, they're actually trying. And then compared to a person who has a brain just won't try, and you're like, dude, like, see the guy over there, kind of like slow. You're like, You're like, he's trying his hardest, and he's actually like getting somewhere. And you have a brain, and you ain't getting nowhere.
I mean, doesn't it ever make you wonder,
Yeah, it
like,
does.
how these people can get away with stuff, and then they think that, you know, they've got that, again, self-righteous entitlement thing going on where they can...
Yeah. I got stuck in a tree.
What do you got in the tree?
Oh, I got my car stuck in the tree on GTA.
Are you playing GTA?
Yeah.
So funny. We're fucking hilarious people.
Sitting over here hosting a podcast.
Playing the video games.
We should do podcasts like this. I mean, eventually we'll get some cameras set up, but I mean, this is pretty funny if you think of, like, two people talking about serious stuff, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, watch these guys talk about a podcast. Like, no, you're watching someone play GTA, but like, no, they just record off of Twitch.
We gotta get... We've got to do more damage. Uh-oh, who binged you?
I don't know, someone from Xbox.
I got one person watching me. Thank you, fellow watcher.
Thank you too, fellow watch. I got one person watching me too.
It is
I had 2
appreciated.
people in the last video watching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me enough for that.
Don't forget, follower, to go look at my friend's channel named Dom.
Just remember, you want truths, come see me.
You want murder? Come see me.
He's not gonna talk murder.
I'm just gonna go kill people on GTA.
Don't listen to him. He's lying.
I'd be laughing if a viewer comes to my channel. You're like, God damn it, you stole my viewer.
It's okay if you stem my viewer. Just to be friends, I don't care. It's fucking just a video game. It's just consoling. It would
It's
be
weird though, like.
what? Okay.
I was,
It's not a big deal. I was just gonna say what?
well, no, I
Oh,
find it weird because I do the advertising first, right? We have 300 views on Snapchat. We have almost 400 views on TikTok, but no one's come to check out our stuff yet. Like nothing. And I'm like, what are? I don't know.
what are we doing wrong?
Yeah, what are we doing wrong?
Why doesn't anyone like us?
Well, I mean, we have 133 people liking us on YouTube.
Well, why aren't you guys coming over and liking our video over here on Twitch?
I don't know.
Our Twitch needs love too. Our Twitch does need love too.
It sure does. You can call a podcast tonight or just something else?
Doesn't matter. We could do something else.
Alright, for sure.
I'm just
Thank you
straight
guys
streaming.
for checking in on the broadcast. Come back at you guys later on. Peace, baby.